Today, I am running my first 5K in months. However, there is a bit of an issue. Over the last 6 weeks, my training has been abysmal as I slightly injured my Achilles after a 10-mile race. Luckily, my Achilles is finally better, but I have lost a lot of fitness. I'm skipping out on the super shoes today as I don't want that aggressive heel-to-toe drop messing with my Achilles and ankle, but I still want an edge, and that's where my genius plan comes into play. Enter Jet insoles. These insoles are engineered with a multi-layered responsive foam and a carbon weave propulsion plate designed to give you the same explosive energy return you'd expect from the latest super shoes, but with your favorite trainers. I can hype up these insoles all I want, but that means literally nothing until they are put to the test. So let's see how this plays out. All right, we are here at the 5K. Guys, this is the South Boulder Creek 5K. I have done this thing 100 times. In fact, I have the course record at 15:21, so I am the king of this park run. Obviously, I'm coming back from my injury, so this is really a baseline test for me, but you know, we have our secret weapon with our Jet insoles. I've got them in my shoes right now. Enough with the yapping, let's get into the 5K.
Any last words?
We come in unassuming with our normal trainers on, but little do people know, we've got the secret weapon of the year.
Yeah, no one's ever seen him here before.
It was finally time to start the park run 5K. So immediately I was off to a hot start as I had these Jet insoles on and I went right to the lead in this park run. And you guys know I have done this park run several times. I was not super concerned with the competition either way, but at the end of the day I wanted to get out fast just to see how I felt with these new insoles in. So for some context of the goals for this park run, I just wanted to run under 17 minutes. Obviously I've been able to run a lot faster, but after taking 5 weeks down at altitude and doing a race at altitude, it just makes it so much harder. So really running under 17 minutes is like running 16:20 at sea level. So if I was able to do that after taking a 5-week break, I would be really pumped. But a little after I made it into this 5K, I was feeling pretty solid, and you can see I have a sizable gap to second place. I was very impressed with how the Jet insoles were feeling on this hard surface in this first couple minutes. I was actually bouncing right off the floor, and it didn't feel too different from the super shoes at all. The only notable difference of this versus the super shoes is that they obviously have that massive foam cushioning on them, whereas with this insole, you still just get the normal cushioning of your trainer that you're using. As you can see here, I'm running low 5-minute pace through the first 0.38 of this 5K. Actually, the first half mile or so is slightly downhill, so you always go out a little bit too quick. But honestly, I was just trying to go out as fast as I could because I knew that this was going to be really hard with missing out on some time. And I knew I probably wasn't going to be able to negative split because whenever I'm out of shape, it's always so hard for me to just keep the pace going late into these 5Ks. Also, quickly, the reason I decided to do this 5K is because I have the Boulder race coming up in 10 days. That's a 10K race, so I really just wanted to rip the band-aid off of going through a lot of pain, so then next week when I do that 10K, it won't be such a shock to the system. I also got a chance to talk to the creator of Jet insoles, and he had some really cool insights on their specific design and why they're comparable to any super shoe on the market right now at a fraction of the cost.
This is a carbon fiber that's super unique, so there's no other carbon fiber on the market like it. What makes it unique is it's dynamically flexible. So in this position, you get bend super easy. So whether you're a 4-foot striker, a mid-foot striker, heel striker, doesn't matter, it'll form to you. Super easy, you don't even feel it in your shoe. When you go to flex forward though, it doesn't flex this direction, so that's what gives you the propulsion to go forward. I designed this to have a split toe design, so you can turn right, turn left, it's super easy.
That's actually what I really noticed right off the bat as I'm coming through 1 mile in 5:17 with the Jet insoles. The split toe design was really nice because when I'm wearing normal super shoes, when I'm running on these tight corners like what you're seeing right here, I feel like I'm usually really unstable, but the split toe design and being able to just have my normal trainers on made it really easy to navigate those tight turns. Also, you guys know that my Achilles is always vulnerable to getting some sort of injury, and I honestly think that that is because of the super shoes over the last 4 or 5 years and how aggressive they are. We actually cut out a plate of a super shoe, so let's just look at the difference between the way it flexes versus the Jet insole. So first we have the super shoe plate, and you literally see it has no give at all, but the Jet insole does have give, and that's when you land. So I think that just the lack of give when you land on a normal super shoe just causes a lot of tension in my Achilles area, which causes injuries all the time. Okay, but we are getting close to 2 miles into this 5K, and I was definitely hurting a lot on the second mile. It is slightly uphill, not too crazily uphill, but just a little sliver uphill compared to the first mile, and that just makes such a big difference when I'm out of shape and being at altitude. But we're about to go under my favorite part, this cool little tunnel right here. Almost ran into those ladies, but luckily dodged them last second. But yeah, we, again, like I said, slowed down on mile 2, and we came through in a 5:28 for mile 2, but that is still okay because that is still on 17-minute 5K pace. You guys all obviously know I'm hurting a lot because if you see, my heart rate is 196 at this point. We make our final turnaround there, and we are on our way back. We're going to see how far back second place is right now. There were 2 other competitors battling, and here they are battling it out for second place. I always love to see when there's other runners there having a good time, putting in good efforts, and that's just why I love park runs, guys. They're just amazing to have so many people out there. I always try to recommend to anyone who's watching my videos to just look up your local park run and do one because they're so awesome. They're free. They're every Saturday morning at the same time. But back to the race. At this point, I have about a half mile left to go. Allie's on the bike right in front of me, and guys, I was hurting so much. You can see it on my face right here, but I was actually surprising myself with how fast I was going. I'm definitely going to run under 17 minutes, guys, which is awesome, but how much faster are we going to go? Again, these jet insoles are really helping me out. I honestly mean that, but look at my face, guys. I am grimacing like crazy. You're about to hear how loud I am breathing. It was disgusting. I know I can't be the only one who gets that panicky, really high-pitched, wheezing type of breathing deep into a race. That's just what happens towards the last 0.3 miles, usually of 5Ks for me. I'm a very heavy breather, and it just shows I'm just pushing as hard as I can. 199 heart rate right now, guys. I'm pushing absolutely to my limit, and yes, it's not a crazy fast time, but for me, at this point in the year, I am very pumped about how this is going. Guys, I'm at 3 miles at 16 flat. What are we going to run here? The only issue is that there is a big pond of water right in the way of this finish line. I'm gonna have to just run right through it because this drainage did not clear up in time, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with getting the feet a little bit wet at the end of the race, but guys, we are finishing this thing up in a 16:30.
16:30.
So 16:30, coming back from the injury in the jet insoles. Overall, I was super pleased, guys. I really like the jet insoles, and by no means are these going to be a super shoe replacement for all the bigger serious races I do, but I do think that there's an absolute place for these insoles in my training, like for my tempo runs or for some of these shorter park run 5Ks. They're also only 80 bucks, so that's so much cheaper than your typical $300 super shoe. And actually, if you click at the link in my description, you can get a discount for jet insoles today. But I had so much fun doing this first 5K back, guys, and yeah, the jet insoles are definitely going to be something I use in the future, so I'm super pumped about that as well. We'll see you guys in the next one.